few years, he's just been on a tear. So this is going to be actually a great match. It's really interesting to see kind of like Nick, who told me on Thursday night, like, oh, I guess I'll play this Buzzwole deck. I don't know if that's what people say is good. I'll just try it out. And now he's sitting here playing for top 8.
Winning in for the top 8. I am so excited. I hope you guys at home are excited too. If you are, of course, use the hashtag #PlayPokemon as we are now entering the 15th and final Swiss round of the weekend. The 15th and final Swiss round of the North American International Championships in 2018. Nick Campbell against Jimmy Pendarvis. One of these players will lock themselves into top 8 if they win the match. A draw would basically eliminate both of them from top 8 contention.
Yes, and this is actually a situation that Jimmy was in 2 years ago. In the final round of Swiss, he played against Serena Radu. They drew and got like 11th and 15th, something like that. So he does not want a repeat of that. Got a Buzzwole, some choice bands, strong energy, prized for Nick.
So roughish prizes for Nick, but let's see if Jimmy has something better going for him.
Not too bad. I mean, he only runs the 2 grass energy, so that might hurt him. He has 1 rainbow as well. Looks like the players are getting ready.
Here we go.
Handshake.
Big handshake. Nick Campbell against Jimmy Pendarvis. It looks like Nick Campbell is the player who's starting things off on the left side of our screen.
Yeah, both of these players playing kind of standard decks, especially Nick. The Buzzwole deck was maybe the most hyped deck going into this tournament. Very part of the triangle, really. Jimmy, on the other hand, is playing Zoroark Golisopod, which I think was a little bit underrated going into the event, but has actually been just a great choice for this one.
Nick Campbell does start things off with a Brooklet Hill, finding himself a Remoraid, usually telling of wanting to go for a very consistent early through mid game and just kind of wanting to play it safe and not try to go overly aggressive, expending resources. Now, he does play an Ultra Ball as well, finding himself a Rockruff, always a card that you want to see at the beginning of the game, be able to have Lycanroc GX's Bloodthirsty Eyes available to you from turn 2 on. And now we do see a Cynthia here from Nick, shuffling his hand into his deck and drawing 6 brand new cards.
Yeah, this is about where Nick wants to be. You're opening a big, strong Buzzwole GX. You're getting the Remoraid on the board, the Rockruff. This Cynthia is going to net him 6 cards. So I'm not going to say the ideal start until I see the rest of them, but super solid so far.
It seems like the only thing missing is an energy, but he does have a Max Elixir to at least put some energy onto his bench. Of course, going first, you don't get to attack, but still, you kind of want to be able to take advantage of being able to play an energy from every turn of the game. And now, Max Elixir missing here is really big.
Yeah, he does have another one in hand, but missing with 9 basic fighting in your deck is a big deal. Let's see if the second one can hit. It does.
Yeah. So he at least gets 1 energy out of the entire deal to start this game off. But again, it's not any type of pressure onto Jimmy Pendarvis right now. And now Jimmy's going to be able to start his turn off. Will he see a turn 1 Bridget, which is exactly what he needs to see here?
Yeah, that's his hope. He just has it naturally. No Tapu needed.
Sure enough, big Bridget here. No Tapu Lele needed for the Wonder Tag, as we'll be seeing a couple of Zoruas, potentially a 3rd one, and if not, then we'll be seeing a Wimpod to go with it.
Yeah, I'd imagine he's going to grab, depending on what's in his hand, he's going to grab Zorua, Wimpod. That's kind of the standard, I think. You just want to get out your Zoroarks as fast as possible. Jimmy's going to go ahead and take a look through his deck. What's in Jimmy's hand after this is really going to be telling about what he can start doing next turn. If he has Zoroarks, I imagine if he played the Bridget, that means he has other supporters for later in the game. I do see a Zoroark in his hand.
Wimpod.
Is he missing an energy?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's got an energy in his hand. His hand is actually pretty solid, though, otherwise. He's got a couple of Zoroarks in his hand. One thing I do want to see out of Nick here, if possible, is him threatening one of these Zoruas on the bench. You can kind of take advantage of the fact that Jimmy only has 2 Zoruas in play here. Jimmy chose to go for a second Wimpod rather than a 3rd Zorua, so you can kind of punish that play by putting a ton of pressure on these Zoruas and knocking them out and forcing your opponent into an awkward mid-game with very few trades available to him. Much less than he'd like to have. But instead, just knocks out the Wimpod, obviously not a bad situation to be in either. Really, Nikolas Campbell's deck is as fast as they come. As for a single energy, he's basically dealt not only a knockout, but 30 damage onto the benched Wimpod. Now, the good news for Jimmy is that he gets 2 Zoroarks immediately into play, and Evo Soda finds a Golisopod. So that's 3 stage 1s in 2 seconds.
Yeah, those are great draws. Now he's going to go ahead and end Nick down to 5. No Octillery in play yet for Nick. So despite having that early knockout, this is Jimmy just had a great hand. Just dumps evolutions, plays the end. He's going to draw a ton of cards this turn.
Absolutely. An N to 5 for Nick, 6 for Jimmy. Remember, Jimmy already has all of his evolutions in play. So all he wants to do is get additional basic Pokemon, potentially evolve them as soon as possible, obviously. And also try to find a way to mitigate the damage that Buzzwole will surely be dealing.
6 cards for Jimmy, 5 for Nick.
A Floatstone plus a Grass Energy would be ideal here for Jimmy. Doesn't seem to find either. Trades, though. That's the beauty of trade. If you don't find it, you surely will eventually.
Yeah, trades away that Cynthia. He has 1 more. I don't see any energy. Just going to go ahead and play the Lele and Wonder Tag.
Wonder Tags with Tapu Lele to thin out his deck, potentially give himself better odds at hitting with future trades. But in the meantime, Tapu Lele does get to let him search through his deck and give him additional information as to what's potentially prized. Of course, choosing a Bridget here. Less so for the use of the Bridget, more so for trade bait potentially.
Yeah. I assume he's not too interested in playing the Bridget. But we will see what his next trade will net him.
All right, Bridget down. 2 cards to come. Looks like we saw an Ultra Ball and another Bridget.
Oh, he does have the double colorless as well.
Yeah, he has a double colorless, but ideally, obviously, he would have attacked with a Golisopod this turn. Of course, attacking with Zoroark, always dangerous when your opponent has a Buzzwole in the active spot with a strong energy already attached to it and a Diancie in play. But still, I mean, beggars can't be choosers, and you definitely want to have some sort of pressure going onto your opponent. So we'll have to see what Jimmy chooses to do.
And Jimmy, I think one advantage Jimmy definitely has here, and honestly, most of Nick's opponents probably had, is that he's definitely he knows the matchups better.
Sure.
I don't think Nick's a good friend of mine. I don't think he prepared that much for this tournament. Obviously, he knows what he's doing. He's a good player. But I think when you get 2 good players like this, the edge of just having that experience, Jimmy knows exactly what to do. He's been in this spot thousands of times, might push it over the top.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Zoroark does get the double colorless energy attached to it. Field Blower gets rid of Brooklet Hill. Not the strongest Field Blower in the world, but still, Brooklet Hill down. And 80 damage onto Buzzwole. 110 to go.
Nick's going to start his turn. A couple of Beast Rings in hand. Can't quite use those yet.
Now, what? I mean, if he can get a knockout onto this onto the Zoroark, that'd be excellent. But he would have to get some sort of help from a Lycanroc more than likely.
Yeah, he would need a lot to knock it out with the Buzzwole.
A Choice Band?
3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 wouldn't quite do it.
Right, it would have to be a Choice Band and a Strong Energy.
Yeah. Or does he play Regirock as well? He does.
He does? Okay.
But here's the Ultra Ball for Octillery. This is going to be really important. One of the things that these Zoroark decks can do is kind of play a heavy end game. Because, end just doesn't matter to them, really. They're going to end. If you end them, whatever, they're going to draw a bunch of cards with Zoroark. So having that Octillery on the board is really important for both this turn and the future of the game for Nick.
Okay, well, it seems like we did not find the Choice Band here from Nick. So Zoroark is not in danger of getting knocked out here, because I don't believe that there's a Lycanroc either. So instead, Nick's forced to just kind of Jet Punch, deal 140 damage, and another 30 on the Golisopod. At least the Golisopod's getting to dangerously low HP.
Yeah, softening up that Golisopod, not really the turn that Nick wanted to see, unfortunately. We see Jimmy just going through his deck. This is the power of Zoroark GX, all of those trades.
Yeah, I mean, to start your turn off, just discard a couple of cards that really are of no use to you right now. Draw 4 fresh cards, and of course, that means that you get 4 additional cards to work with. Here he found a Parallel City. Parallel City replaced that Brooklet Hill before Brooklet Hill really got any use. And also, of course, limiting Nick's bench space.
Yeah, and that's 2 Brooklet Hill down for Nick, and he doesn't play any Field Blower, so only has 1 more opportunity with the Brooklet Hill to get rid of this Parallel City.
So now at this point, if Jimmy can find 1 more bench Pokemon, and of course he's got a Mewtwo in his hand, chooses not to play it.
I go and see an N here. I think he's used all of his trades, though.
Yeah, he has.
So this Parallel City is actually likely going to cause Nick a lot of trouble here. Again, he only has 1 ray to remove it. He can't play anything else while it's active.
And he's already played a couple of Brooklet Hills, so he's really only got 1 Brooklet Hill to go.
He only has 1 to go. Fresh hand is 6 for Jimmy.
So we could see that Parallel City potentially stick for the rest of this game. Jimmy gets a brand new hand. Does he have the options he's looking for? I mean, really, Ultra Ball here can find him another Wimpod, for example. It does find him that Mewtwo that he shuffled back into his deck with the N. Yes, that will allow him to knock out that Buzzwole with Zorg's
Riotous Beating.
Yeah, Riotous Beating.
Yeah, so an interesting kind of thing about this Buzzwole deck is the inclusion of Mew EX and Mewtwo, which both kind of prey on these Buzzwole decks. The Buzzwole players will argue their effectiveness, but there's no doubting that they are just a huge game. Just being able to knock out, basically for free, hit for weakness is so strong. And we see that Buzzwole GX fall.
So here's the thing is Jimmy does go down to 4 prizes, which is exactly what Nick's been waiting for here. Can Nick have this this kind of turn that these Buzzwole decks absolutely rely upon more than anything? These Buzzwole decks love being able to get their base ring in live basically and get all these energy onto their Pokemon, but because of Parallel City, we just don't get to see that quite yet.
Yeah, no Ultra Beast in play, but Jimmy did fill his bench in order to take that knockout, so Lycanroc could be big here, but I think he's artilleried into nothing.
Yeah, unfortunately for Nick, he's forced to... Wow, okay. That's one option.
Hits with the... I mean, what are you going to do? Yeah, so that was an unfortunate...
200 damage, right?
That was an unfortunate series of draws
200
there.
damage. 10 short, unfortunately for him.
Energy on that Golisopod now from Jimmy. Fresh hand of 7.
I don't know if I've ever seen a Buzzwole deck look this weak before.
You don't believe in surprise attack?
I'm not saying I don't believe in surprise attack. I'm just saying I don't believe in surprise attacking and still not getting a knockout when you hit. I think that's the worst feeling in the world is not getting paid off on your luck.
Yeah, and Nick just
see that Beast Ring and just no Ultra Beast in play for Nick. It's such an awful feeling. Of course, Beast Energy to go with that too.
Now he's opened up a spot for Jimmy to move these Zoroarks to the active position. Even Max Potion, one of them.
How brutal.
And now just start making a good first impression. Going down to 3 prizes remaining. And Jimmy has been in control of this game the entire time. That Parallel City, I don't think Nick drew an out to it.
Jeez. Forced to spend his bench space on his last remaining bench space on top of Layla's.
And Nick's going to go ahead and actually just concede.
I'm very happy I just saw that. I was actually about to touch on this subject. Remember, Nick is not going to be happy with the draw. So if this game were to last another, say, 5-6 minutes, which it very realistically could have, he would have been down to 30 minutes before the other game, the next game started. And now that puts him in pressure to win 2 games. Absolutely win 2 games. A win and a draw is no good for him.
Yeah.
Win 2 games within 30 minutes. Now, at this point, he gives himself enough time to potentially pull this off and puts less pressure on himself to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, we talk about this a lot. Although it has come up in the matches I've casted, it has not come up that much. But it is very important to pay attention to time in these high-level tournaments. you don't just get to finish. It's not an actual best of 3, right? You don't just get infinite time to finish 3 games. So what Nick did there is he just saw, wow, I don't think I'm going to win this game. You know, my Jimmy basically has the check mark. I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm just going to scoop it up. Hopefully I can win the next 2. A draw does me no good. Sitting here and fiddling with, you know, float stone, retreat, pass doesn't do me any good.
It's very important, obviously, throughout the tournament, but it's never more important than it is when you're in the final round of Swiss and you know for a fact that you need to get 3 match points in order for you to advance to the next round of competition. The moment that you know that all that's on the line, I mean, of course you have to scoop early. 100% you have to scoop early. A draw does you no good unless you're happy getting a top 16 finish.
Exactly. So Jimmy Pendarvis just 1 game away from a top 8 berth here at the North American International Championship. Nick Campbell got some work to do. He's got to win 2 games in a row versus one of the best players, one of the most highly ranked players in the world.
Yep, one of the top 16 players in North America. Now here's Nick going first here against Jimmy Pendarvis. A buzz will start here for Nick against the Mew EX start for Jimmy.
Nothing too big in the prizes for Jimmy. And this Mew, I was just talking about earlier, it can be a big game versus these Buzzwole deck. Going to hit the Buzzwole pieces, both the Baby Buzz and the GX for weakness.
This non-GX Buzzwole is exactly the kind of Pokemon that Nick wants to be seeing here. We didn't see a single one of these throughout Game 1, and that kind of just shows you how fragile Nick's hand was Game 1. It definitely never really panned out the way it's meant to with these Buzzwole decks, as Buzzwole absolutely relies on not only having Ultra Beast in play, but of course not having 2 of its 3 bench spots be used by support Pokemon.
Yep, and there's a Beast Energy.
I believe there's a Max Elixir.
Oh, and he's going to hit.
Yeah, if it is a Max Elixir, it is indeed a hit. Sure enough, Buzzwole on the bench gets a Fighting Energy. Buzzwole in the active position gets a Beast Energy. And now we see a Sycamore. Explains why the Beast Energy was played so early.
Yeah, so this is a much better start for Nick. Nick actually had like a fine turn 1. He just kind of stumbled from there. He was missing energy, and then he just got parallel locked into that first game. But kind of having a Beast Energy active, kind of spreading your ability to attack around with 1 energy on each of those non-EX Buzzwole, even not really giving Mew the best opportunity because, again, they're non-EX.
Right.
A really good spot for him to be.
That's the end of Nick's turn here. Jimmy's first turn of the game right away naturally plays the Bridget without having a Tapu Lele for that. I can't express how important that is for Jimmy here in the early turns.
Yep, and just like last game, just like most games with the Zoroark, with various Zoroark decks, we see 2 Zoroark and then one of the other Pokemon. In this case, with Jimmy's deck, it happens to be Wimpod hitting the bench. So exactly what Jimmy wants to see on his first turn, just kind of getting things set up. You know, the setup that Jimmy had last game where he just went Zoroark, Golisopod, play a supporter on turn 2, like, that's just so hard for any deck to beat.
Absolutely. Now, if you're Nick right here, right, you're trying to dodge Enhanced Hammer as much as possible because you want to get as much use out of this Beast Energy as possible. Beast Energy is one of the big reasons to play decks like Buzzwole. So if you don't get any type of real benefit out of the card, then of course you feel like a big part of your strategy is kind of out the window. So big time turn here for Nick as Jimmy did not find one of his 2 Enhanced Hammers. Now an N here is going to shuffle both players' hands into their deck and draw them both 6 cards on this second turn of the game for Nick. And Nick's got a Choice Band with a Beast Energy, so he's already dealing tons of damage. He's dealing 90 damage to any EX or GX Pokemon, and that means that he's just a Diancie / Regirock away from knocking out this Mew EX.
He will need both of those or a strong. Doing 90 right now. Just needs a little bit more versus the Mew. But yeah, putting a lot of pressure on is Nick. There's a Brooklet Hill to replace.
Can find him a Diancie.
This is a good trade for him right now. Again, Parallel City is what really put him in a bad spot last game. So being able to eliminate that is nice.
All right, now he's just a single Strong Energy or Regirock away from being able to get a big knockout. There's a Strong Energy.
There it is.
Mew EX is going to be going down without being able to attack.
Right.
Huge here for Nick, as he takes 2 prizes and Jimmy has only 3 basic Pokemon in play.
Yeah, dealing with one of the big threats to the deck. Not really a huge cost to doing it either. Taking 2 prizes, great place to be, great turn 2 for Nick.
Okay, now how does Jimmy respond? Promotes the Wimpod, has a Zoroark plus an Evo Soda to get 2 Zoroarks into play right away. Again, Strong's turn 2 here for Jimmy, as he also plays a Gliscopod. So that's all 3 stage 1s that he could have had in play within the first 5 seconds of the second turn of the game here for him. Now a Tapu Lele and a Zorua come into play. Tapu Lele Wonder tagging in an N. Now will he play the N before playing additional cards? That's the question. Nope, plays the Floatstone first. Now an N.
Yeah, he's going to slam that N. I mean, again, this is a really can be a dangerous spot for Nick because Octillery is kind of his out to this. It's still early in the game. He's still getting 4 prizes, but Ns just don't matter to Jimmy. And early ends without an Octillery are how the Buzzwole deck can fall behind. He already has a great board set up, thankfully. But we'll have to see what this N can find Nick.
Yeah, Nick, obviously still a favorite to have a good hand here, but a 4-card hand is always scary. And, you know, he doesn't have any draw Pokemon or supporters in his draw supporters in his hand, but it's still got quite a bit of juice on it. It's got a Max Elixir, it's got a Strong Energy and a Guzma, so he's guaranteed to have some sort of aggression out of him no matter what Jimmy does here. Jimmy trading here, trying to find additional cards, obviously looking for things like Enhance Hammer and whatnot. But yeah, Nick is guaranteed to have at least a game plan for the next turn or 2, but then after that, he's definitely going to need some help from the top of his deck.
And there looks like a Crossing Cut GX for the knockout, switching, taking care of that Buzzwole, eliminating most of the energy on Nick's side of the board, only taking 1 prize for Jimmy.
All right. Now, Nick is promoting a Buzzwole with no energy on it. Draws another Guzma, not what he wants to see.
He's got Strong, double Guzma, GX, and Max Elixir in hand. Again, you know, this is not the worst 4-card hand I've ever seen, of course, but, you know, no draw supporters.
You just go for a knockout on a Zorua? You potentially go for a Zoroark here with a Guzma? I mean, none of your options are great, right? But there's got to be something you can do.
Well, he's going to start things off with a Brooklet Hill. He doesn't have a Rock Ruff on the board, so that might be coming down here. Once again, going to go for that Regirock. So this opens up the possibility of... He has Strong in hand, is that correct?
He does have Strong in hand.
Trying to boost his damage up.
So here's the problem with this play, too, though, is... oh, man. He now has a or EX Pokemon here, which can be targeted down, which would put Jimmy in 3 prizes, and it would not let him Sledgehammer for maximum output. And it seems like in this particular game, he might actually need that 1 energy major Sledgehammer.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be something that Jimmy is going to try to navigate well, is avoiding Sledgehammers and Beast Rings. Usually can't avoid both of those, but you like to try as hard as you can. He takes a knockout here. Gliscopod going to come to the active position.
All right, so Nick is down to 4 prizes. Jimmy's still at 5, but once again, if Jimmy can take down this Regirock, it will stop any type of major aggression out of Nick here. But that's easier said than done.
Trade with Zoroark.
First Zoroark's trade is down. Only 1 trade remaining. There's that second trade.
Getting rid of some extra Zoroarks he will not be needing.
Gliscopod, the active Pokemon, already used its GX attack. What is Jimmy going to do for an aggressive turn here?
Gonna go ahead and retreat.
Looks like he retreats, and then Guzma's up a Remoraid, which is actually huge too. I actually think I prefer this play over pretty much anything else. You know, your opponent's shown that he has a bad hand, a poor hand. So you take away well over half his outs here, as now Ultra Ball no longer helps him out with through the Octillery anyway, and he'll be forced to Wonder Tag. And of course, naturally drawing artillery will not help him out either.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a heads-up play by Jimmy, the right thing to do. Just, you know your opponent has a bad hand. Let's cut him off of artillery. Let's just kind of strengthen the vice a little bit here. Nick's definitely not out of it, but...
Here's the thing, though, is now we see a Sledgehammer going to be able to knock out Zoroark. Of course, he still has one Guzma available to him, and I believe that we will see it maybe go after this Zoroark with a Float Stone on it.
Well, he does Max Elixir to the Buzzwole GX, just getting stuff set up. I mean, I think there's no reality in which Jimmy doesn't get somewhat punished for his play that turn, but I think he just is fine with just eliminating the draw power, even if it gets Nick some prizes. Nick's down to 1.
Sure, long-term strategy here from Jimmy. But Nick in the driver's seat with only a single prize card remaining. Jimmy still has 4 prizes to go. And I mean, are we going to see an end here out of Jimmy?
I mean, if he has one, I imagine that's where he's going to be with it. Jimmy's board not looking so hot with only 1 trade ability up.
Yeah, I mean, I know that he's traded at least 1 end away, so I'm not sure how many ends he's got available to him. But I think that obviously that's the ideal play there. Enhanced Hammer gets rid of the strong energy on Buzzwole, makes it that much harder for Buzzwole to be able to secure a knockout, secure the final KO of the game. Huge play there by Jimmy. And Delinquent discarding the final 3 cards from okay, well, I guess that's better than any your opponent to 1, right?
Yeah, just putting him on 0.
Delinquenting them to 0 is slightly better than any your opponent to 1.
Blow up the Brooklet Hill as well.
And he's tanking up a Tapu Lele. Look at that. Tapu Lele going to be the secondary attacker of choice. And 100 damage onto the Buzzwole. Does he draw? He draws it fighting energy. That's actually a big time top deck here by Nikolas. As bad as, you know, I mean, obviously it's nowhere near as good as the Sycamore, but as far as cards that he could come out of his deck, that's a pretty good one.
And he just draws the fighting, so not totally out of it yet. He's still, again, 1 prize left. He's got a Buzzwole GX almost built up.
All right, Bridget getting thrown away here for a trade. The only trade of the turn here for Jimmy. No hand here for Nikolas.
But I don't...
Drawing off the top of his deck for the remainder of the game, potentially, is Nikolas. Can he find the final prize?
Yeah, I mean, he just, like, I don't know how many energy Nick's gone through.
The big problem with Jimmy's last turn was that he didn't get a knockout, you know? So he's still at 4 prizes, which meant Nikolas is just dealing so much damage for a single energy that he's forcing Jimmy into a play where he gets rid of 3 energy in order to heal away the damage that was dealt by a single energy attack by Nikolas.
And Jimmy max potions his Golisopod, just realizing, I can't let all of these cards on the board be free prizes for you, even though I'm going to sacrifice some energy. He's going to go ahead, attach the rainbow, take a damage, and
Golisopod
the knockout.
I mean, geez, man. Is Jimmy going to be able to pull this off? I mean, you have to believe that with no hand, Nikolas is just in an awkward position where he's obviously got the board, he's got the prize lead, he's got everything going for him except for, a hand.
Well, I mean, so there's a lot of outs here because of the Diancie and Regirock on the board. Strong energy will do it on that Buzzwole GX, but he's only, like you said, he's only drawing 1 card, so he's just top decking, and Jimmy's just like so far ahead on board, but with only 1 prize left, I don't know if he can pull it off. We're gonna see a Cynthia for 6.
Yeah, it was a Cynthia for 6. Oh man! Remember, there is so much on the line this game. Jimmy just a single game away, just 4 prizes away from being able to enter the top 8. Nikolas 1 prize away from being able to get himself 1 game away from entering the top 8. Ultra Ball finds a Tapu Lele.
Yep, thinning his deck out is Jimmy, realizing they're entering the late stages of the game here.
Yeah.
There's a knockout. All right.
There's the knockout. Jimmy down to 3 prizes. Buzzwole, active Pokemon. A strong energy top deck does mean game.
And the top deck is
no, it's
Rockruff.
Rockruff. Okay.
Right. So it looks like we're just going to see a Jet Punch here, bringing that Golisopod to 40. Oh, sorry, I forgot about the damage modifiers there. 30 onto the Tapu Lele.
So can...
Top decks are very real here.
Needs more than a Choice Band Psychic. Mew EX was knocked out at the start of this game, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I wonder if he plays Rescue Stretcher?
I don't think so.
No, it doesn't look like it. But he does
If
play double puzzle
if
at
Jimmy
times.
has, I don't know how many double colorless, if he's used any besides the ones on his Tapu Lele, he can do a double colorless Choice Band. We'll get the knockout. There's the Choice Band. And he has a Sycamore in hand from the Wonder Tag.
Okay, so
Go ahead and slam it.
double colorless energy will mean game here. And, oh, there it is, right?
It won't mean game.
Well,
Jimmy's still at 3 prizes.
Oh, right. Jimmy does have 3 prizes now, too.
But it will mean the Buzzwole GX is gone. Jimmy's at 1, tying
So
things
it'll
up.
basically mean game.
And maybe 1 turn away from top 8ing the North American International Championship.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
big Tapu Lele.
huge knockout here from Jimmy when he takes it. I mean, we saw that Tapu Lele get the first double colorless energy attached, then the second, and now finally with this third. Double puzzle at time, too. That was a huge Sycamore here for Jimmy.
Trying to get some insurance here. Looking through his discard pile. Max Potion.
Max Potion makes a lot of sense. Make it as difficult as possible for your opponent to take the
Just
final
trying
prize.
to cover like all the possible outs. Looks like he's considering Guzma as well.
Yep.
Pausing on it a little bit. It's interesting because it doesn't really like he just has the I don't know he needs to play to his outs. He needs to play as tightly as possible, and the Guzma will allow him to kind of get tricky, move the Tapu Lele if things do go wrong for him.
Right. Much less. Obviously not a very crucial card, but still. Ultra Ball now here by Jimmy. Oh man.
Spinning his deck as much as he can. Takes his Aura.
Tapu Lele just about to get the biggest knockout of Tapu Lele's career against Buzzwole here. The Buzzwole GX with no damage on it. About to get one-hit KO'd by this Tapu Lele.
Might be a knockout worth a lot of money, too.
No kidding.
Let's see.
All right. Parallel City first.
Yep, Parallel coming down. Regirock, Baby Buzz going into the discard pile, perhaps.
Baby Buzz for sure. How do you win if you're Nick? You have to get a Sycamore / Max Elixir / Lycanroc.
Well, let's see. He has 1 more turn left. The draw is...
So if he top decks Sycamore, Floatstone into Floatstone / Max Elixir / Lycanroc and an energy in hand.
He's slow rolling us. What does he have? I mean, I imagine
it's gotta
if
be
it
a
was anything
Sycamore.
good, he would have slammed it. Guzma. All right.
No, that won't do it.
Look how quick.
Yeah.
Jimmy shows him the Guzma.
Guzma from
Jimmy
Jimmy.
Pendarvis.
All right, Jimmy Pendarvis does win this game, and in turn, he wins the match as he goes 2-0 against Nikolas Campbell in this 15th and final round of Swiss to what we believe means securing himself into the top 8 at the North American International Championships.
Yes, almost certainly. Someone much more intelligent than me, Christopher Szymanski, has told me that a 35 may miss, but 36 is safe. So when Chris Szymanski tells me something about math, I generally believe him. Congratulations to Jimmy Pendarvis, one of the most deserving players in the world. Again, top 16, top 8 at Worlds. He had a top 16 at the last year of U.S. Nationals a couple of years back. He's just an incredibly consistent player. One of the guys that you really think about when you think of great players in the current era.